We are live. We are live with a Hacks Chat. We're going to do a Hacks Chat tonight with Mark Poulton. We have Mark Poulton in the house, and he has a new book called Dog and Codename Killswitch. So, without further ado, let's get the man, the myth, in here.
Hey, man.
What's up, myth?
I hope you don't mind. I sent the link to Clint as well, so he can join us.
Wait a minute. You send a link to Clint?
Yeah.
Don't tell Clint, but man, I hope he doesn't, take you up on that whole link thing. That dude's a lot of trouble, man. That guy's a troublemaker, and I heard he's been drinking.
Yeah, he likes to knock it back.
Yeah, so I hope he doesn't take us up on that whole link thing and come in and just ruin this whole live stream, because that would be horrible. Just horrible. Oh, shit. Oh, God.
Art talking trash behind my back. Dreams do come true.
How are you, brother? I would never say those things if you couldn't take it and you weren't, a talented so-and-so. So how you doing, Clint?
No, I'm doing well, Art.
Good. I like the T-shirt.
Oh, yeah. Always a fan. Got a rep.
Yeah. The big Blue Scout. What is it called? Boy Scout. The blue.
Yeah, the big blue Boy Scout.
Yeah. Oh,
hopefully the snow is melted off your pool and all of your jeans are mended.
Can you hear that?
Is it snowing again?
I think it's my wife's phone. Yeah, actually, the snow's gone. We had 70 degrees yesterday and 80 today. So nice. I thought I'd try to fire up the pool, because if you guys know anything about freezing pipes, water expands in freezing cold. So I had to drain the pipes, the water and everything like that. So I thought I'd fire up the pool today, and boom, busted pipe.
Oh, no. Yeah. I think that's just pretty much everywhere in Texas right now. Is just I called Andrew, my colorist, and I told him one of the tricks in Minnesota is if you got an older house that isn't well insulated, you leave like your tub running at a trickle, so the water keeps running through, and running water doesn't necessarily freeze. The other thing is to empty out your pipes if that's possible, but those are kind of two tricks we use up here.
Yeah, we did that for that week or so that we had the freezing cold. We had it's a big house, so I didn't know. So we had every tap open. I don't know if it has to just be one or if it has to be all of them. So the water bill is going to be quite high month.
That had to be a bit of a culture shock for you there.
Yeah, I've never had to deal with this. And I think on another live stream, I said I've never been in the actual, like, I've been in snow, but not when it's coming from the sky. So I went out there. I was like, oh my gosh, it's a miracle. Because when it first starts snowing, it's all pretty. It's all kind of.
It looks so pretty.
Yeah.
Until you're shoveling it for 2 hours.
Exactly. Well, by the next day, it looks like crap. But the first fallen snow, I'm like, it's a winter wonderland. And then the next day, it's like, oh my gosh, it's all sloshy and black and dirty.
Yep.
But I've been accused of talking about weather too much, so we should probably move on. But I have been going through the T-Bear vault, the archives, and I found this. Let's see if this works here. So I found this little gem, Mark Poulton.
Oh, nice.
So you guys have worked together then?
Yeah, that was good times.
There's Mark's name right there.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah, so let's see if we can find it in the bigger credits. But look at this, man. This was a shame. This Hawkman was brilliant.
Yeah, it looked fantastic.
My God. Go ahead.
You and Joe were such a great team.
Thank you. Yeah, there you are. The writing team of, is it on? Wait, which side is it on? It's on this side here.
Yep.
So there it is.
Yeah, there we are.
Little blurry. Yeah. This was a great run, man. I thought you and Rob were writing just the perfect amount of of action, and Joe really responds to big stuff. And man, I'll tell you, I've always been one of those Hawkman fans, but there's not a lot of great runs of Hawkman.
Yeah.
And he's not really done very well in the past. And man, I was rooting not just for us, like for the run to do better than it did, but just from a Hawkman standpoint, I thought it was great. Whether I worked on it or not, man, I still would have picked up the damn book.
Yeah, no, me too. I felt like just visually, like yours and Joe's art, like was up there with Jim Lee or any other book at DC at the time. It was just a beautiful looking book, and Rob is like a master of action. So it was a lot of fun to work on. I'm really proud of the stuff we did.
How did that work for you, Mark? Did you like work off of Rob's like loose plot lines and filled it in, or?
So I was scripting when the art came back. So
okay.
Joe got Rob's plots and penciled, and then as the pages came in, I wrote the dialogue.
Cool, very neat.
Yeah, I was just about to ask that of him, Clint, so I'm glad you did.
I'm always curious with co-writers what kind of mix they kind of go into, because that's always like a little tricky thing, but they usually figure it out however works best for them.
Right. And you worked with Rob before, right, Mark?
Yeah, at Image, I did a bunch of stuff with him. Some Bloodstrike, some Brigade. We relaunched Evangeline with me as the writer. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Like I grew up, like Rob was my hero, and I was like, oh, I'd love to work with him. And then it didn't really seem like it was going to happen because he had almost went into like I guess like a little bit of a retirement in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
But I found him on message boards, and he took a liking to my work, and it worked out for me.
Yeah. Well, you're a big indie guy, so you've been self-publishing for a while now. So Sea Dog and Codename Killswitch. That's how many indies have you done with that as well?
How many Indiegogos? This is the second.
How many just independent books have you?
Oh, geez. I don't even know. I've been doing indie stuff since like 2006. Actually, I did a book back in the 90s, but I didn't know there's only like a couple copies of it because I didn't really know what to do with it back then.
Those still count for us indie guys.
Yeah. So
not all of us got to work for the big two for 30 years like Art, so we count every indie book.
I was doing some math the other day. Graham Nolan's got me thinking. I've been working since '82, so I've been working 4 decades.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't feel that old, but apparently, yeah, the years have creeped up on me.
Yeah, you've pretty much done it all when it comes to art and comics.
Well, somebody says Clint and I are about the same age. So past Master Dan, is that a nice way of saying Clint? How old?
We're old. We're old. I think Art's got me by a couple of years, but I think my beard is whiter than his.
Yeah.
So it might be deceptive. I just have a really white beard.
Oh, past Master Dan says he's 59. So
thanks, past Master Dan. I'm 49, so that really feels good. You made my night there, buddy. Appreciate it.
Well, just for the record, just to hurt you even more, Clint, I'm 59.
I know, and you literally look younger than me, Art. So
the years have been kind to you, Clint.
Yeah, these are Minnesota years, and you've got California years on you. The tread gets worn a little bit more.
But the thing is, like my dad, he went white at an early age. So he did do the salt and pepper thing like I am, but he went like just a couple years he was salt and pepper. Then he went completely white. So some guys do that. You know what I mean? They don't stay in that salt and pepper state very long. I happen to be like just, stuck in this state, forever. And you probably wouldn't tell if I didn't grow this thing out. My wife hates it. Yeah. If I just shaved it, I'd look like a young.
You have those Mark Poulton boyish good looks.
What's up with that, Mark?
The baby face.
I'm 47, so
I know. you put me next to you. I'm 2 years older than you, and I look like I'm your dad.
Yeah, this is turning
fair, man.
Yeah, this is turning into a roast, Clint.
Apparently, last night too, the Australian guy showed up and kind of took a few pot shots at me. So apparently, I'm making friends wherever I go.
It's a good thing you're made out of Teflon, or what's that bulletproof Kevlar? Yeah,
Kevlar, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Kevlar and Teflon, a little Teflon as well. So you're easy clean.
It just bounces right off.
It just bounces right off. We have an echo.
Echo? Oh, I'm not hearing anything.
Okay.
I'm not hearing anything.
Okay, it was just there for a minute. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Pell Ryder is using profanity. Damn.
Wow, come on, guys.
I'm sorry, Clint, and I started off with roasting you, and the trend continues.
I know the chat decided to run away.
But you know what, Clint? They kid because they care.
Oh yes, exactly.
And as long
the thing is, I'm pretty used to it because my friends are like much meaner than that to me. So I think I might just have that personality that kind of brings it out of people.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as long as I'm drinking the hard stuff, I'm okay.
There you go.
Yeah. So, okay. So you guys did Sea Dog and Killswitch. Mark is this is volume 2, right? This is the follow up.
Yeah.
Okay. So Mark is the writer, and Clint is the artist. So, and this is like a partial, like it's kind of an interesting team up, right? It's like Clint brought some of the characters, and then Mark brought some of them, and then you guys just decided to kind of mix the two together, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Sea Dog was created by me and my son Chase, and codename Killswitch is all Clint.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. You guys ever get in fights? It's like, who's more important, Killswitch or Sea Dog?
I'll be reading the script and I'll be like, there's a whole lot of Sea Dog action going on here.
Hey, can we edit this back, Mark?
We got a pretty good working relationship that kind of like we'd hash it back and forth. And Mark, I'll make some tweaks to the stories just because, like the Killswitch characters of mine, so I kind of have a better grasp on them. So we kind of tweak things as we go along. And I mean, I think we kind of came down with a good mix with book 1. And, we kind of just hit the ground running with book 2. So, and Mark's super easy to work with. I mean, both of us kind of have done this long enough to know how to kind of collaborate on something. So it's worked out pretty good. I've got no complaints about it. And it's been fun.
Yeah. People have dug it, like the first volume, and you guys fulfilled everything. So that's great. People are talking about it. So
we were stoked. Yes.
Yeah. Let's give people a little bit of an education. So I'm going to go to the site here, and so you guys can talk a little bit about it. So people can get their sea legs on Sea Dog and codename Killswitch. So this is book 2. Either one of you guys, you want to take it from here?
Sure. Book 2. Right now we're at 14,000. When Clint and I finished the first 60 days of the first campaign, we were just at 12,000. So we're really happy with the support we've gotten on the second book. We fulfilled the first book 2 months early. So I think we created a lot of goodwill with the backers who backed the first book. This one picks up after the events of the first issue. Sea Dog's master, Peter, has been kidnapped by our villain, Shikari. And this book picks up with them trying to get information on where Shikari has taken Peter. So we open up with Rebel and Neon undercover at a superhero strip club to get information on Shikari's whereabouts.
It seemed like a good scenario to start open and grab people's attention right away.
Oh yeah, sex sells.
Exactly. Yeah, for some reason, comic book fans like hot chicks. So
yeah,
since you can't get them at the big two anymore, we're gonna deliver in spades.
Yeah, exactly. It's taboo there, but not here. Oh, you guys got so this is a Dan Frega sketch.
Yep. Our Frega variant. Yep. He gave us a rough layout just so we could have something to post. I mean, he's obviously busy doing Black Flag right now. But he gave us those layouts so we can kind of have an idea of what people are getting, and hopefully the not too distant future, it sounds like we might have a little bit something more to show the fans, which will be, a big bonus for us to show that kind of stuff around. But the nice thing is with Comicsgate, we've got a John Malin variant for book 1, and we got a Dan Frega variant for book 2, which kind of, two of the bigger names in Comicsgate, and it's kind of a nice feather in our cap for getting attention for our books, and want to make sure we showcase that.
Yeah, we all hang together. This Malin cover is really good, man.
Yeah, we're actually.
I was gonna say, you guys are bringing back like the cool '90s stuff, man. That's like
what we are all about the '90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're actually gonna do that variant as a line art variant. So it's just going to be the black and white, no logo, so just a virgin cover, so you can just see all the awesome detail. Because John just kicked ass on that cover, so that's kind of the cool new version variant that we're doing with this campaign.
Sweet. Yeah, don't tell John, but I really like his ink work. I know it's all digital, but I still like it. It'll go really good. Yeah, we don't want John's head any bigger than it is.
No comment.
That thing's ginormous.
No, I want to stay on John's good side. I like John. I think he's very modest.
Yeah, but he's very, very, very talented, and he's a great guy. Yeah. Oh my gosh, there you go. There's the sexy. Yep. Is this?
Here's page 1, and kind of catches you up with where all the characters are at in the story. With the girls there, that's a little shot of them getting ready for their stage time at the strip club there. So, kind of want to throw everybody right into the action right away with the storyline.
So, also, if anybody's like getting a little bit of a flashback from some of these characters, these are definitely like I don't know how to say it, like stand-ins.
They're definitely influenced by characters that I'm a fan of. I'll be the first one to admit that. Yeah, you're looking at these characters and thinking you're seeing characters. It's not by accident. Like, these are all characters that I'm a fan of, that I've been influenced by. Like, I always throw it back to when Jim Lee and when Rob and when Mark Silvestri like broke off from Marvel and created their new comics. Like, you kind of got that impression like Wildcats was kind of influenced by X-Men, Cyberforce was. They took their own kind of twists on like what was popular at the time. So this is kind of my version of that, kind of a He-Man, Conan-esque character with Stormborn, with Halo, or with Halo, with Neon on the right there. She's kind of a mix of Halo and Dagger. Obviously, Tundra is kind of a mix of Badrock and The Thing. Soldier 7 is kind of that Captain America, Cyclops, Spartan type character.
That guy right here, right?
Yep. Soldier 7 right there. And Crotch Rocket, I always like to say, if Crotch Rocket is my favorite, and he seems to be a lot of people's favorites, but I always say, like Rob says, that Deadpool was influenced by Deathstroke Terminator. So if Deathstroke, or if Deadpool is Deathstroke's son, I would say Crotch Rocket is Deathstroke's illegitimate grandson. It's kind of that bastardized version of these characters. So definitely heavily influenced by characters that I've been a fan of when I created Codename Killswitch.
Yeah, and there's definitely a Sea Dog right there in that third panel. Look at that. Yeah. He's looking for his owner.
Yeah, he's a real dog.
Yeah. Well,
where's owner? Yeah.
Nobody's noticed, but if you like zoom in on the people that he's like fighting in that panel,
I see a hand. Is that? Wait, I know who that is. That that guy's Banff, right?
That's not Banff. Exactly. His name is Banff.
There's got to be like a sound effect that says Samph.
And then he's fighting giant steel Russian.
Yeah, and then there's
Those are their official names.
there's a metallic man there that might have a C in his name. He might be Alasis.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I always think it's fun to just throw those kind of little things in there for, little Easter egg kind of things, and just not enough to get you into trouble, hopefully, but just to have fun with it.
I dig stuff like this too, when the character's like hammering down and he's actually breaking the panel, and it looks like there's like these broken pieces there. That's awesome.
I was happy with how that page turned out, and that panel especially. It was fun.
Yeah, that thing looks killer. And then, oh, look at this. Va 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 boom.
Exactly. Gotta have a little something.
Is that Crotch Rocket going after her?
Yeah, Crotch Rocket versus Red Raven here. So
There you go. Match made in heaven.
Exactly.
But looking at that panel, it might be hell. I always wanted like hell bent but heaven sent. Like that. I always like that tag.
That's a nice title. I like that.
Yeah. So here's some of the interiors, the black and whites. Look at that. Yep. Wow, I like your layouts, Clint. Very cool.
Oh, thanks. That means a lot coming from you, Art.
Oh, look at there's Castle Grayskull.
That's not the official name of it, but yeah, I wanted to have as much fun with the story and with the backgrounds of these characters, and draw stuff that I grew up on and loved, and I was a huge He-Man fan growing up, so. Stormborn is a barbarian prince from another world, but there's some things that might remind you of other characters, and he's actually returned to his homeworld of Tharoon. This is where he's at here, and he's facing off against his brother Dragonborn, who has usurped the throne, and he's the guy riding the giant dragon there, and there's, of course, Stormborn's love interest in chains. So we kind of give a little bit more backstory to some of the characters, but we're jumping around a lot. We're jumping around to alien planets. We return to Tharoon. So there's a lot of action, a lot of the story takes you kind of all over the place with what we created with book 2. So.
Yeah, a lot of world building this time around. A lot of new characters, a brand new team, the Animalers, which we didn't really go too much into Sea Dog's origin in the first book, but in this one we'll tell you where his powers come from, because there's other animal heroes like him out there.
Oh, that's cool. So this issue, you're going to be able to get flesh out the characters a little bit more, and their origins, their home worlds, like this guy's home world. That's great, because usually the first issues can go one of two ways. They can like set up the world and they can be a little bit slower paced, or you could just hit them with action, and then the second issue kind of go back a little bit, and then explain how they got there, why, all that other stuff. So it looks like you might have done that, right? Started off with with the kick-ass #1, and then this one. Not that this one's not going to kick ass, but I mean where you kind of give a little bit more backstory.
Just flush. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely. Just flesh out the characters a little bit more, give them a little bit more backstory, so they're kind of more fully developed characters. But still, you're learning stuff as it's like action nonstop. It's not a slow-paced story. There's a lot going on, but that's what was great about having this success with book 1. Is it allowed us, and I mean, these pages are time consuming, so it allowed me as an artist to really kind of take my time and really spend as much time as needed to make these pages and make the book look as awesome as possible. So
yeah, well, this double page is exactly that, man. It looks incredible. I have to ask you, Clint, is this traditional? Is there an original?
No, unfortunately, I probably couldn't get these books done in time if I was inking on Bristol board. So I went about completely digital about 2 years ago, and losing the original art is a huge bummer. But the speed and the freedom and the lack of stress, being able to erase an ink line is made my life a lot more easy. So I'm completely digital now. All this stuff is digital, and it's just really sped me up to the point where I can like get these books done, even though it's a 48-page book where I'm doing a bunch of pinups and trading cards. I can get this stuff done in about 3 months. So the speed that it's given me has made it worthwhile for me. But yeah, disappointingly, I don't have the original art to sell on like Bristol boards. So
I was just thinking like this would be a great tier if you were selling some of these original double page. If man, for somebody to own this thing would be incredible.
Yeah, but I probably did that page in 3 days, where if I would have like done it, traditionally, I don't know how long it would have taken me, just because, just ink lines and detail and everything.
Well, it's a double page too, so 3 days for a double page spread is not bad.
No, yeah.
So there's 2 days right there, and then inking it a day. So I think that's just about right, as far as time. Yeah, I mean, if you were, working at Marvel or DC based on their scheduling.
Right.
Our schedule is a little bit different. So what is this? The collector's case. Wow.
The Babe box.
Yeah, so I actually have one right here if you want to put me up full screen. So this is a collector's case. It will come with all 3 volumes of book 1, as well as both covers to book 2. So it's going to be 5 books total. Has Clint's artwork on the front, title on the spine, has a magnetic closing.
Oh, killer.
Yeah, and inside will be the 5 books, a sketch from Clint, a sketch from me, trading cards, prints, a Sea Dog pop socket. So it's going to be loaded. It's a great value for everything you get.
So when you said 3 volumes of issue 1, are those volumes, or are they like variant covers?
Variant covers.
Variant covers.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, did I miss something? Is there more product out there?
Yeah, Mark made sure that everybody could get whichever variant they were looking for with book 1 and book 2. And then with the Babe box, you're going to get all 3 variants of book 2 and all 2 variants of book 1. So, and then on the other tiers, Mark does have an add-on. So when you're checking out, if you want to kind of mix and match which cover you're looking for, we want to give everybody the option to kind of pick and choose what covers they want. So that add-on ability kind of allows you to kind of pick and choose what you're looking for. So we want to make sure that, whoever's backing this and interested in it can kind of pick and choose which covers they like. So hey to Corey, hey to Todd, great having us on last night. Saying hi to some guys in the chat there.
Okay, I have to come back or go back to the site because I saw something. I need you to explain this.
If we grab your attention with stuff, that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, definitely. So what is a pop socket? Is that right?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So if you pull me up, I have one on my phone right now.
Oh,
it's just like a little.
What are you doing to me?
Sorry, it's just like a little like candle for your cell phone.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hold on. I didn't know what those things were called. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, I did not know that's what it was.
A pop socket. Oh,
yeah.
So it's got Sea Dog
on it. Yep. Yeah. And it's drawn by 6 a.m. Comics, who seems to draw everyone's character. So yeah, pretty cool that we got him to do Sea Dog for us.
Yeah, I think there's a black and white version that he did, and one of the Chrono Mechanics characters. So that's very cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I guess I should go back because I don't think we've fully covered everything on the. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Mark. That's very uncomfortable. Right. That's me before, and I'm like, should I do something? I don't know.
No,
I got the spotlight right now.
Leave the young looking guy on the main page. People are arguing about what Fleetwood Mac rock star he looks like. So the chat is entranced with Mark's young good looks.
Oh my gosh, this is going where I'm very uncomfortable.
I know. I'm not going to get a complex at all going on shows with him now.
Yeah. Well, if it hasn't happened yet, Clint, it's not going to happen. Okay, well let's get into this video here. I always like watching the videos.
Codename Killswitch returned to all new 48-page graphic novel by Mark Poulton and Clint Polinsky, featuring Sea Dog, Soldier 7, Rebel, Tundra, Neon, Stormborn, and Crotch Rocket. Only on Indiegogo.
I don't think anybody can hear the name Crotch Rocket without having at least a little bit of a chuckle to themselves.
Yeah. Okay, so is this another video or is there more?
No, it's just one video.
Oh, it just kind of went around again.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so 213 backers, 21 days. So is this going to be a 30-day campaign or how you guys going to do this?
So we're in our second 30-day campaign.
Okay. All right. Very cool. So so 21 days, so you still have the rest. Well, you have a whole month practically to do this. If you guys don't know, Mark has worked on Graveyard Shift. He is a is it co-creator on Graveyard Shift? Is that right?
Yeah. I came up with the idea and pitched it to John back when we were both members of Rob Liefeld's message board back in 2010. So yeah, we go back a long time with Graveyard Shift.
Yeah, so sometimes it takes a little bit of time to have these dreams reach fruition. So we have the triple threat. So that's your featured tier. So what's the triple threat?
So it's Clint's cover and Dan's cover to book 2, and then the book 1 reprint with the John Malin line art variant cover.
Oh, so it's going to be volume 1 with a new cover. Is that right?
Yep.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's killer. This isn't the one that comes in the sexy box, right?
No, that's our $200 tier.
Oh, okay. So then this one is book 2 regular cover. So this is the main.
Yep.
Here.
Yep, that'll be my cover there. That'll be just the main regular one. And then we've got the Dan Frega variant right below this one. So you can pick or choose if you want to get the Dan cover, you want to get my cover, and then of course you can get both covers.
Well, all these variants are doing really well. So Dan's got 56 claimed. You have 85. And so the Malin cover, oh, poor John.
In John's defense, there's a lot of add-ons for his cover.
Exactly. John's cover has been very popular.
Yeah. Okay, so this is both covers. So this is the Frega Boom cover with the standard cover. So that's killer. And then this is the fun pack. So what is this? What is the fun pack? There's the regular book, the Frega, the Clint. What's the Clint sketch?
And then, you're gonna get a sketch from me. So it'll be one of the characters. It'll probably be one of the hot chicks. It'll be like a full body sketch like that. So kind of a nice little original art collector's piece that you get with this one. Mark always mentions that if you signed up for our mailing list beforehand, with the mailing list you get a discount on this. So mailing list backers could get this for $100. But yeah, you're going to get both variants of book 2, mine and Dan's, and then you get the John Malin variant for book 1, and then you get an original art sketch piece from me. So kind of a nice value and a nice collector's piece right there for that reward.
So the main book, the standard book, is always going to come signed by Mark?
Yeah, Mark's signing all the books.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that kind of happening because you guys don't live in the same state, so it would be tough to back and forth? Yeah.
If we start hitting those Graveyard Shift numbers, I will fly out and sign books.
Oh, hell yeah. That'd be a great stretch goal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we'll get that done. Oh,
if we hit Graveyard Shift numbers, I'll probably hand deliver each reward to a backer. Just show up their house in my van and buy
Personally
pallet
delivered.
of books in the back.
Yeah, personally deliver each book and then sign it
Crisscross
right
the
for them.
country.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the Sexy Babe box, which, by the way, I really do like. This is very cool.
This has actually been really popular, and I mean the collector's box is awesome for collectors. And yeah, you're gonna get everything with this. You're gonna get all three variants with book 2. You're gonna get the variants with book 1. You're gonna get all the prints, and we're actually adding prints as we go with our stretch goals. You'll also get the trading cards, so it's kind of a lot of bang for your buck with the Babe box.
I have to ask you, the Sexy Babe box, is there room for more inside?
We'll be adding I mean, we're coming up on our 15,000 stretch goal right now, and we've got more stretch goals planned. So we're gonna try and stuff that thing with as much stuff as we can, stretch goals allowing. But
yeah, well, what I was thinking is there going to be a Sea Dog Killswitch Volume 3? So where they basically put all the books in. Is there room?
We have beginning plans for Sea Dog and Codename Killswitch Book 3. It always depends on the success, but we're already really happy with the pace we're going at now. We've kind of outdone book 1, and we want to kind of push it as far as we can. But yeah, there's already plans for book 3, and book 2 kind of leaves our heroes in an interesting point story-wise to kind of jump into book 3. So we're having fun with this, or it seems to be popular with the fans, and I think both me and Mark would love to do as much with these characters as we can, and it always comes down to the fans. If the fans are interested and backing the projects, we'd love to do more with it, definitely.
Yeah, well, I was just wondering if there was room for issue 3 or 4 or 5 in this same box, because then you could put the whole collection in there. Or
I would say book 3 for sure would fit in there.
Okay.
4 and 5.
Definitely. I did a similar box for my last U.S. Assassin campaign, and I fit 5 books in there. So yeah, you could probably fit maybe like 5 or 6 books, depending on the thickness of them.
Yeah. So next campaign, you guys can offer another sexy box.
Yep.
Definitely. The collector's boxes have been popular. So yeah, I mean, you want to give the fans what they want. So.
Well, I'm jealous because this thing looks badass, and I'm a fan of the magnetic seal. Like sometimes, you're doing a convention and you see those hardcore fans, those guys that are really cool, and then they pull out their magnetic box and it's got like your X-Men collection in it or whatever.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, you're a professional.
Everything's protected and nice and in mint condition. That's the most important thing.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm always like, man, you came prepared. And those are the same guys that usually have like the dollies, they have their collection.
Oh yeah.
When a fan pulls up with a dolly with his short boxes on there, I'm like, dude's prepared and he's ready to rock at this con.
I had a guy that it was kind of strange. He had this trench coat. I think there were 3 pockets on each side, and they could fit one of these like sexy boxes like you guys have in each one of the pouches. And so
wow.
The jacket, I'm like, what the hell? And he pulls out the X-Men box. And I'm like, oh, that's cool.
It's cool, but you got to be so loaded down walking around the convention floor with all that extra weight of comics in your pockets.
He looked like he was having a good time, so I don't know.
That's a hell of a workout.
Yeah, I wanted to show this thing because this is one of the mini prints, right?
Yep. This was our $10,000 stretch goal. So the first one is, we're kind of doing the Marvel style swimsuit editions. So the first one is a neon print, my character from Codename Killswitch. So we've already hit that. So every backer is going to get the print here with neon. And then we're just a little bit away from our 15,000 stretch goal, where you get a print of Rebel and neon. And again, another kind of Marvel swimsuit-esque kind of print there. So just fun extras that we want to make sure that everybody gets when we, kind of push a little further on in the campaign.
Yeah, this looks incredible, you guys. I think you've managed to go from the first campaign and then just like top it. Like this thing looks, it looks great. It looks action packed. And let's see. Let me hit refresh. See where we're at. 213, 14, 287. Well, that's okay. That's okay. We'll come back at the end. Yeah, we'll get some backers.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Backers. Yeah. So wait, we got D Geek Art. Let's see. She's got she posted up your link there.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Thank you.
And
thank you, D Geek Art.
Yeah, she's awesome, man. She is. She's a good supporter of Comicsgate, and actually, she's taken the plunge. So we're doing some T-shirts together, and she's working. I think it's top secret with another Comicsgater. So yeah, she's taking the artistic plunge here.
Cool.
So,
and that's what's fun about Comicsgate is it's such a network of people that you like team up with or talk to or talk about campaigns or work with, and it's just kind of a fun group of fans and pros and indie artists and writers that just kind of all are kind of on the same wavelength for being comic book fans and wanting to put out cool books. So it's a blast being a part of the community.
Oh, wait a minute. I just realized Past Master Dan says now we have an active link. Is the link in the description not active?
Yeah, I saw someone mention that in the chat that it wasn't active.
Okay, I'm so sorry, you guys.
That's all right.
Before it's all said and done, I'll make sure that's remedied. So anybody watching this later can click on it and go to Killswitch. So thank you so much, D Geek Art, for posting that. That's much appreciated. So sorry about that, Mark and Clint.
That's okay.
No worries.
So you guys do have a issue 3 lined up.
Yeah, we've been talking about it, and we like Clint said, there's sort of volume 2 ends with there's choices our heroes can make that'll send the book in different directions.
Sea-Dog is put under a lot of pressure. he has some serious choices to make about his future.
So more pressure than losing his owner?
Yeah.
He's kind of got to decide. Oh, Rob is here.
Oh, wait,
Rob, I did this myself, and I think it looks just fine.
Yeah,
you look great, Clint.
My microphone's good now, so now Rob's got to make fun of my haircut.
Yeah, well, this is definitely a roast for you, Clint. It didn't.
I know. I took the clippers that I used to cut out the knots on my cat, and I used that to trim up my hair. So.
Yeah,
I wasn't going to buy a whole new pair of clippers to cut my hair with.
Yeah. Well, I like that you have it's almost like a symmetrical thing. You got this, and then you got this.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it lengthens my face so I don't look quite as fat as I actually am. It's all illusion.
Yeah, I thought you were like just a skinny runt, but
yeah, that's exactly what I look like.
Yeah, it's a whole different ball game. Yeah, I should talk. I'm gaining weight too, but yeah, it wouldn't be Rob unless there was some kind of burn.
Oh.
But let me get this real quick before we move forward. So D Geek Art for $2. Thank you so much for the super chat. I do appreciate it. The official reveal is hopefully Monday. So there's going to be a big reveal, I guess, Monday. So I'm not sure whose channel that's going to be on, but it sounds like there's going to be a D Geek Art reveal. And also, if you guys don't know her work, it's right up in this right-hand corner. So Inko, the Hack Shack Studios mascot, is
nice
by D Geek Art. I was just talking. We're just coming up with wouldn't it be cool to have a mascot like an inkwell, like a bottle? He's got the cork, and he's like, "That's good ink." Like some kind of, like 30s, 40s, kind of comic strip character. And so she came up with this and sent it to me, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool!" So if you look at in the background of Black and White Volume 1, Inko is there. He shows up on panels here and there. Yeah. So thank you again for that.
So Art, I have to I double book myself. I have to drop off, but I know Clint has a ton of questions for you.
Oh
so
yeah, I'm going to hang out for a little bit until we wrap it up here. But
yeah, thanks so much for having me, Art. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, Mark, and continue success with your book, and it looks great.
Thank you, man. I'll talk to you later. See you, Clint.
Yep, see you, Mark.
Oh my gosh, it's just you and I now.
Now that we're rid of him, God, you got to understand what it's like dealing with writers.
You know what? That guy, Mark, just talks on and on and on. You can't shut him up.
Exactly. No, what I love about Mark, I mean, his plots are great, but his dialogue is like, and like what you were talking about with Hawkman earlier, with what a fun book it turned out to be. But like Mark is great with the dialogue, and he kind of really fleshes out the characters. And I mean, he's kind of like me. He's a laid back dude. Like sometimes you work with people and they get a little wound up and kind of, everything needs to be a certain way. So that's the nice thing with me and Mark. We've meshed really great with the success of the first campaign. I mean, I knew that I wanted to do the second book right away. So the whole experience with these books has been a blast, and working with Mark has been a ton of fun. So like I said, we've got plans for book 3. We're still in the middle of book 2, so I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, there's more plans, definitely more plans for these characters. We're having a lot of fun with them. We've even mentioned branching off into like solo books after this. I definitely at some point I think want to do like a crotch rocket one shot, just because I think the fans just absolutely demand more crotch rocket, just because the name alone just kind of like, I'm hoping that people will remember we one day for having been the creator of Crotch Rocket. That'll be something that I can be proud of and hang my hat on.
Well, you know what? You know how Marvel would have like the Mighty Thor or the Invincible Iron Man. You have to like in your face.
That's right. Exactly. Yep. There's a lot of ways you can go with Crotch Rocket.
Yeah. Well, let me get this other super chat. Thank you so much, D Geek Art. Joe is hoping to announce Monday. You never have to pay me to make these announcements, but I do appreciate it. Thank you for that. And any way that we can help, let us know. So you guys check. That's Joe Thunderbuns Poulton that she's referring to. So I guess that would be his Twitter. So check out his Twitter Monday, and there's going to be a big announcement there. So that should be very cool. I should try to get him on Monday. Yeah, and also D Geek Art, man, we should get you on. That would be cool. Like you and Mark, or I mean you and Joe. That'd be awesome.
There you go. Big announcement on Art's channel. There you go.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah. Wait. Past Master says we're growing old and gaining weight. Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's like, you're kind of multiplying yourself. Like it's kind of fun. You can make yourself bigger, like a superhero.
to an extent, and then it becomes problematic.
Everything becomes problematic, Clint, when you're 59 years old.
I remember going to conventions at 17, 18, and 19 and looking at the artists behind the tables and like, why are these guys all so heavy set, and it's just like, then, 20, 30 years later, and it's like, I've been sitting at a desk drawing for 30 years and not really working out as much as I could. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Problem solved.
Yeah, exactly. Now the mystery solved. I know.
Yes. Mystery solved. Exactly.
Yeah. So one of the things I wanted to ask you about is have you ever met Mark in person? Like, how did you guys meet?
I believe, like our first initial, like working with each other was, we both worked for Arcana Comics. It was Sean O'Reilly's company, and I met Sean at a Wizard World, back in the glory days of Chicago Wizard Worlds. But, Mark, was working, for Sean. And then Sean hired me to be the artist he got the license for The Greatest American Hero, the old TV show.
Right.
And so I got hired on to draw that comic, and Mark was working on it. And I don't know if he was co-writing it or he was doing something on it. And that's where we first worked together. And then we ran across each other at a San Diego con, but neither one of us exactly remembers it. We were both working at the same table in the same booth, but you kind of know how San Diego is. It's kind of a lot of, and there was actually a big deal because the cast was there. The cast from the original show was doing kind of a reunion in one of the halls. So more attention was kind of being paid to them than, other people on the books. But that's where we kind of first crossed paths and knew each other. And then just through the years, I mean, I worked on a bunch of Arcana stuff and Mark was involved, and we kind of knew each other from back in the day. And so, fast forward, however many years, and I couldn't tell you because they get a little blurry after a while, but I was doing some of my own crowdfunding stuff, had done a couple of books, and just, when you're doing this, you're like looking at what everybody else is doing, seeing what's working and what's not. And, all of a sudden, boom, like Comicsgate kind of blew up all of a sudden. I didn't know that much about it. And all of a sudden I see Graveyard Shift just going through the roof. Yeah. And I see Mark's name there. And I'm like, I know Mark. Like, what'd be a good idea right now? Their campaign's doing over $100,000. Like, I should drop Mark an email and see how he's doing. and that's kind of where everything kind of started with Sea-Dog and Codename Killswitch. I just sent Mark an email, and it's kind of one of those things where all the people you meet in comics and you have these kind of loose connections, but you see each other throughout the years, and you're friends, but you don't know what everybody's doing at that point. So I'm like, I'm gonna throw him an email. We'll see what comes of it.
The best thing about like comic books and what we do, it really feels like everybody knows each other.
Yeah.
I remember somebody was talking to, it was, I've always run a studio. So there's always young guys, that would work with me, that you would start training and things like that. I think we went to a convention, and then he had this observation. He goes, "You talk to everybody like they're your best friend." And I go, that's what started it. Because he asked, he goes, do you know that guy? And I go, not really. And then he said, you talk to everybody like they're your best friend.
Yeah.
So that's just the way this industry, at least for me, that's
yeah. When you're at a comic book convention, like everybody's there is kind of have similar interests. Like you've got that mutual understanding of comics and sci-fi. You guys are both interested in something. So you've got that basis to have a conversation with somebody, and everybody's there to have fun and enjoy their fandom, or whether they're creators, talk about their projects. So it's kind of easy, like, if you're there to have a good time and so are the other people, it's kind of easy to have that kind of back and forth. So yeah, that's it's kind of one of the great things about comic conventions.
Yeah, the best thing, it was so cool. I can't remember the guy's name. He does like this cartoon style, and he draws comic books, but he's also in like a band like Good Charlotte or something like that. He's the lead guitar player.
Okay.
So we were in Artist Alley one year. So he's on the end, and there's two other artists, and then one on my other side. But they were just kind of con guys, not like huge names or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But we had, I wish I could remember the other guy's name or any of their names, for that matter. I think one of them was Donnelly. He does comic book work. I can't remember his first name, but we were just like, it's 5 days, right? So it's kind of like, you get to know each other and all this other
sure.
stuff. So we were just hanging out. We had a great time. And so we all had such a good time. We asked the promoter if we could have the exact same, booth or table setups for the following year. And
sure.
Yeah, and sadly it didn't happen. But it did carry over into the next year, because we still did look for each other, and we still did hang out, socially, after the show. So it was quite cool. So those things do happen, just complete strangers, and you end up just like, just having a great time, and then you want to see them again, you know, kind of like you hanging out with Mark and, you know, and that type of thing. Because you and Mark really seem like you like each other. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of rare, you know, like, you know, and it's sincere.
Yeah.
And I like that. Yeah.
No, it's and like I said, like we hadn't seen each other in a long time, but like once we kind of hit the ground running, we just kind of fell in lockstep with each other. And like I said, you know, Mark's pretty laid back, kind of like me, and we just kind of hash it out and like kind of make sure, you know, we're both on the same page. But, you know, we haven't really ran into any problems of like, oh, this has to happen or this has to happen. It's just like make a fun, cool book. Like the weird thing is Mark posts on Facebook more than I do, and he'll post stuff that he likes. And I'm like, oh, that's stuff that I like, you know, and it's just like, we realize we're kind of into all the same stuff. And like, when it comes to 90s comics, we both have that, you know, kind of love for it that, you know, a lot of fans still have, but like, you know, that a lot of the big two comics companies don't really, you know, put out that kind of material anymore. So me and Mark are just having a fun time kind of putting out the stuff that we grew up on and that we love.
Right. Yeah. I just, it's so funny because I was thinking about this guy. This is the guy I was talking about. This is
okay.
Mike O'Dooney. And so he was sitting next to me, and you know how, like, you know, we started this live stream, which is kind of busting each other's chops. Like, this guy was just busting my chops. So when I remember this one guy goes in and he goes, I just want you to draw something Kirby. And so I was thinking something easy, you know, like, oh, could I just draw, you know, Galactus? Like, you know, the Galactus head is pretty easy. And then Michael just goes, why don't you draw, oh shit, what is that character's name? He's like a bug, and he's the Annihilator. Is that it from
oh yeah, from the Negative Zone?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't even know what that character, so I'm trying to get out of it, right? I don't even know what that character looks like. And then he gets on his phone, he goes, it looks like this.
Oh. Thanks for all the help.
Yeah, so it ended up taking me a little longer than I wanted, but the sketch was pretty good, and he even had to admit that that it came out good. But look at how great this guy is.
Oh yeah, no, that's beautiful art.
Yeah,
that hair is awesome.
Yeah, so I had to, after not remembering his name, I have to show off some of his artwork. He's a good guy.
Oh yeah, no, this stuff is great.
Yeah, so let me see if we can find.
Oh, Scarlet Witch over there is probably popular right now. Yeah, I guess I like that coloring on there too.
Color work, yeah.
Have you been enjoying WandaVision art?
Yeah, I actually am. I just noticed that there's you know, with the whole Disney, you know, and Cara Dune and
oh yeah,
you know, and stuff like that. There's a lot of people that are you know, kind of anti-Disney right now, and it's a shame because I do think WandaVision is really good. So I feel bad sometimes saying I like WandaVision because there's just so many people right now that are really disgusted, and I'm one of them with what.
No, I understand. I mean, the whole Cara Dune thing is just an absolute joke with Disney. And I mean, it's showing the true colors of like the decision makers behind the scenes. Is like, I mean, like with Jon Favreau, like Jon Favreau might be one political leaning or another, but you don't see it in his work. Jon Favreau does something like he writes and directs for an entire audience. He's not. And so, like, I kind of have faith in what Jon Favreau does, and I don't worry about his political leanings. But then when you see overt stuff like this from, like, Disney management really, like, taking shots at an actress just because she has a conservative leaning, it leaves a real bad taste in your mouth for the whole company and what they're putting out.
Yeah, it's so funny because you want to go, well, it's not political, right? You don't want to believe it. It's kind of like, well, there's no way like she could get fired just because she's right leaning, right? You just think that's utterly insane. But if you look at it and you do the math, you just like, there's no other reason, right? There's, you know,
there was people within the company that were just waiting waiting for their opening to try and get rid of her because she doesn't believe in the same things that they do, and so then she has to be silenced. She has to, be fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's between that with Disney, and then you see what's happening with Coca-Cola.
Oh my gosh.
That like blew my mind when I saw that. Like, and LinkedIn, like you had to go through, like you were required to go through some sort of training seminar through LinkedIn to be less white, I think was what they were saying. And it's like, it's frightening that these major corporations have this kind of twisted mindset somewhere in their companies.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. I mean, this is Orwellian,
Absolutely.
It's so funny because I'm a big sci-fi guy, and so I think like there's all these cautionary tales, right? There's all these different authors that have warned us about stuff like this. I thought everybody in the comics industry signed off on that stuff, like took it to heart. Like this is Billy. Wait, I'm trying to find something. Martin. Okay. Yeah. There it is. And so I'm looking up the artist. I'm sorry. I'm going back to what I was saying earlier. The artist is Billy Martin.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the lead guitar player for Good Charlotte.
Okay.
Yeah, we became friends after that. I'm looking for some of his art. It's really pretty good. But yeah, here he is here.
It's funny where like a lot of those rock dudes are like really into comics too. Like there's a number of them were like hardcore comic fans and wanted to be artists also. The two kind of go hand in hand to some extent with some creators.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm trying to. He did a Walking Dead cover.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, how do I get this? Let me see here. Oh, there we go. Okay. Hold on, I'm coming back. Yeah, this takes me forever. I'm derailing this a little bit.
No worries. Then speaking of Walking Dead, I watched Ethan stream the other day where he mentions that Kirkman might be one of the buyers for the DC Comics publishing universe. I found that very interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And then I think the other one, wasn't it? It was
Geppy from
Geppy,
Diamond.
So yeah, here's Billy's work here. I think. Can you see?
Wow.
Yeah.
No, that's nice. Just from a quick glance at it.
Yeah.
He's got a very kind of cartoony, loose style. Fun.
Yeah, he does all of it too. He does the color and everything.
Oh, wow. That's terrific.
Yeah, so got to hang out with him a little bit and share stories. I got to meet his family. He's got little kids and stuff. So, yeah, it was fun. So
poor untalented him, who's just in a hugely successful band, and on the side, I'm just a really super talented comic book artist.
Yeah, and I'm good looking. Yeah.
Oh yeah, life's got to be pretty rough.
Poor Billy.
Exactly.
I hate that. Yeah. I never thought about that until you just said it right now.
Oh, geez. Is there anything you're not good at?
Yeah. So, God, I'm trying to find like him in his rock, because he does the whole goth thing. Like, he wears makeup. It's got his hair.
Yeah, I remember Good Charlotte. They were obviously there was a bunch of not bands like them, but there was kind of that vibe, and I would say,
yeah,
not that long ago, but probably like 6-7 years ago, where it was kind of that not punk, but kind of pop punk. Like everything was a little Green Day-esque.
Yeah. It was funny because I think there was like this. My daughter was into it for a short period of time, like emo, and emo was kind of like punk, like My Chemical Romance was.
Yes, yeah.
Those guys like totally denounced it. They're like, like we're not emo. They'll adapt the punk thing. They're like, yeah, we're okay with that, but not this emo thing. But the brand did kind of stick, and even though they tried to shed it. So yeah, he's from that kind of cut from that cloth, definitely. So it's funny always to meet those guys, and it's like, well, he seems like a normal guy.
Oh yeah. Well, and the My Chemical Romance guy was a huge comic book fan too. Umbrella Academy through Dark Horse. I mean, he was kind of that was his kind of brainchild thing there. So it's kind of funny about how many of these rock and pop stars like have like a comic book background with them. Didn't Daughtry from like American Idol wasn't he a big comic book fan where like he drew something that Jim inked?
Yeah, and then there's Glenn Danzig. Yeah,
Danzig was always Danzig. I remember seeing him at San Diego Con and like, damn, that dude's short.
we saw him at like WonderCon one year, and so I always I do these shows with my daughter and stuff like that, and we just went in as like we didn't have a table or anything. We're just kind of hanging out. And so she was getting the age where she's like too good to hang out with Pop and stuff like that. And like mom and dad. So she goes off with her friend. She's thinking she's cool, right? So I bump into Glenn Danzig. He's like, Archie Bear. I'm like, Glenn Danzig. So just having a good time. And so then I'm like, Pamela, you got to call your kid. Get her over here. So I was able to I was able to tap dance a little bit, for Glenn Danzig to keep him there, and then she showed up just as he was getting like, this is getting weird. I got to walk away. So he gets there, and then I just put him on the spot. I go, could you do a doodle for my daughter? And he did, like on a backing board. He did a doodle, it's like a skull with like the Misfits kind of hair, going over it. And then he signed his name, and then he said, I'm doing a show, next week or this weekend or something like that. He goes, you guys should go, and I'll get you in. And so then, we went to the show, and it was cool because it was a Glenn Danzig. Like the first half was Glenn Danzig, and then the second half was like Misfits. So he had some of the old Misfits guys come up on stage and stuff like that. So it was a blast. But this stuff would always happen with my daughter. Like she's like, Dad, whatever. And so we went to go see this band called Escape the Fate, right? So she's like, I'm gonna get right up stage, right in the front of the stage. I'm gonna watch these guys and everything. So she's watching the opening act, right? So she's trying to get in good position for Escape the Fate. And so then I just go, well, I'm gonna go to the bar, because the bar had TV sets and everything, so you could see the bands and stuff. And so I was just sitting at the bar, and the lead singer for Escape the Fate comes up to the bar. And I go, could I buy you a drink? And he's like, sure. So I actually shared a whiskey. Well, we weren't drinking out of the same glass, but we both had whiskeys. And so then I said, my daughter's not going to believe this. I said, could you sign my ticket stub and say to Amanda? And he goes, sure. Signed it up. And so I tell my daughter, I'm like, yeah, while you were there, I got to hang out with the guy at the bar.
She's got to realize hanging out with Dad is where you meet all the cool
people. Exactly. Yeah. And so she's like, no way, that didn't happen. I go, yes, it did. So I had the ticket stub.
Nice.
Yeah. So that stuff was always happening. I got a ton of these stories, but I'm not gonna bore everybody. So is there anything you wanna add, to your new campaign, Sea Dog and Killswitch?
Yep, we got 3 weeks left. We'll probably be in demand for a little bit, but jump on board now. Check out the rewards. Like I said, we got the John Malin variant for book 1. We've got the Dan Frega variant for book 2. Both really cool options. You can get them both. We've got the Babe box, which is a cool collector's box. It collects all the variants for book 2, all the variants for book 1. You'll get all the prints in there, all the trading cards. That reward's going to have it all. We just hit the stretch goal for getting the neon print there.
That's it.
Yeah. Not too far away from hitting the $15,000 stretch goal for getting the Rebel and neon swimsuit print. So we're outdoing what we did with the first campaign, and we just kind of want to keep the momentum going, get the word out there to as many, Comicsgate backers as we can, trying to do as many shows as we can. That's the best way to, get the word out to everybody. But yeah, if everybody can check out the Indiegogo page and check out the campaign, if you like what you see, you can back it. Otherwise, spread the word for us too. Sending out links or retweeting me and Mark's posts is a huge help to just getting the word out on Twitter. But yeah, just letting everybody know about it is the main thing. It seems like once people see it, they're pretty into it. A lot of people were huge fans of the 90s like me and Mark, and there's just not a lot of stuff out there that's like that anymore. And this is kind of me and Mark's kind of love letter to 90s superhero comics. I mean, we were huge fans of the Image launch and Wildcats and Cyberforce and Youngblood and all those kinds of books. And this is kind of our team up version of it, with Mark's character Sea Dog and then my character's codename Killswitch. So it's a fun book. It's kind of what Comicsgate is all about, with bitching about how the big two just kind of like push their message in their comics and not even thought about what the fans are interested in. Me and Mark are all about, fun comics, cool characters, action adventure, fun storylines. That's our focus. And we aim to please with the fans. Like Mark said earlier, with our first campaign, I believe we sent out the books 2 months before what our original deadline was. We're about on that pace now. So we want to kind of outdo fans' expectations. A lot of fans out there, are waiting for certain Indiegogo campaigns to fulfill. We don't want to be those guys. We want to either hit our deadline or even before it. So we want the fans to get the books right away, and that just allows us to get the next book going that much faster. So that's my spiel.
Yeah, no, it looks great, and bringing the fun back to funny books is always, a good thing as far as I'm concerned. Because I've been around long enough. I remember when comics were fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I would love to know the pinpoint of when it changed, but it did. And I want to bring that. I want to bring that era back where fans could argue about who's stronger, Hulk or the Thing, or is Thor stronger? And like nowadays, you bring that stuff up, and like creators and the big two look down at you because you're like a nerd, and it's like this is what comics is about. This is the bones of what makes the comic industry what it is. I think a lot of people just that work in comics are embarrassed by what it is, and it's like I embrace it. I love the fans. I love that they're excited about these characters, and I'm not trying to be like some kind of cool hipster guy that works in comics, No, I'm a fan just like everybody else, and that's the kind of stuff I enjoy. That's the kind of stuff me and Mark want to put out.
Like Billy Martin and these guys, you can still be really cool and still do books. It's so weird. Like there is kind of like people that sign off like there's a type. Well, there isn't a type. Bon Jovi was a big Superman fan. Like all kinds of people that read comics. It's not all like one type. There are some of those people, but there's also all kinds of different as well. So the thing is, this has always been my pet peeve with this industry is there's a lack of self-esteem. And so what this industry does is it easily takes shots at itself. You know what I mean? It doesn't go, well, this is cool or this is awesome. So it's funny because I always made this analogy. Okay, so you have sports fans, right? You have like in Minnesota where they cheeseheads, right? They wear
no Art. Whoa.
Where's that?
Minnesota or the Vikings?
Are the Vikings the cheeseheads?
No, Art, no.
Who's the cheeseheads?
Wisconsin are the cheeseheads. Green Bay, Packers, Wisconsin.
Okay.
That is not Minnesota.
Oh no, I triggered
Minnesota Vikings in purple. Okay. I don't mean
Okay, well, anyways, my point is
that's blood feud up here.
That there are freaking nerds.
Yep.
There are sports nerds, right? But those guys never get called out. You know why? Because they'll kick your ass. That's why. Like you see those guys, like, okay, I'm not going to name names now because I know I'm going to trigger you. But like, it's freezing cold weather and they don't have shirts on and they're painted, like they're painted up, like they're like that's the equivalent to a cosplayer going to a comic convention.
Or the guy wheeling his long boxes around to get everything signed. Yep.
With his trench coat with all the pockets in it. Yeah. I mean, exactly. it's all the same thing. But you don't call those guys nerds. Why? Because they'll kick your ass. Like
they're giant drunk dudes just looking for a fight.
Yeah. I think they probably dress up just so somebody calls them out so they can punch.
I know a few guys like that. I have a few friends like that.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. That's the difference because I think like comic book fans are a little bit more docile and they're just a little bit more like whatever, we're nerds. They roll with it. But so I always thought like there are these type of fans in almost everything. Like you have rock fans that go to the nth degree, they get tattoos all over their body and they just go nuts at these shows.
They go to every show. They'll travel across the country because their favorite band is playing, and it doesn't matter the cost.
Grateful Dead, even like they had a fan base called the Deadheads. They would just follow them around. So there's all kinds of these things exist. So I always thought like, well, let's just comics are cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Comics are cool. That's it. We don't have to qualify it with anything deeper than that. It's a cool thing to do. They're fun to read. It's a great art form. It's one of the true American art forms. So let's be proud of it.
Absolutely.
It's killer.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Like when I tell people I draw comics, first of all, they don't believe it. Second of all, when I explain it to them, then they do believe it. They're like, that's so cool that you can do that, for a living. And I'm like, I have to convince them, but it's like it is one of the coolest things out there. And I mean, if you look at the culture out there now, like everything that's going on right now is so influenced by the comics that we grew up on. Like the most popular things in the world for entertainment are based off of stuff that we were reading in comics, 20 years ago. So it just goes to show you how influential all that stuff is. And creators and fans alike should be proud of that stuff. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's like comics are cool. Yeah.
I do remember, I usually had roommates when I was growing up, away from home. And so, we'd go out on the weekends and, to different bars, stuff like that. And I remember my friends would go, don't tell anybody what you do. Don't tell ladies what you do. You're not going to get anyone interested. And so then I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not as cool as you are, that type of thing. So, I kind of like was, well, okay, I won't tell them what I do. I'm an architect or something. Somebody makes some serious cash or whatever. And so then I was finally like, nah, I'm gonna. There's this girl and I'm really interested in her, so I'm gonna tell her what I do. And so told this woman, what I did for a living and everything. And then she was like, I love it. It's awesome. And that woman's name was Pamela T. Bear. Her name was Weinstein at the time. And so, she's like, I read Fantastic Four when I was a kid, and she's talking about stories that she liked. She's like, there was this one Superman comic where Superman died, and I remember crying, and then my mom couldn't stand me crying anymore, so ripped up the comic and threw it away. So I asked Mike Carlin, I was like, well, Mike, what issue was this that she's referring to?
Oh, yeah.
So I kind of narrowed it down, and Mike Carlin was the Superman editor, and I was working on Superman at the time. So he goes, it's probably this issue. So I went through back issues. I finally found it, and I gave it to her. I go, was this the issue? And then she started crying, so I had my
That is so cool.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, wear it on your sleeve. Yeah, be loud, be proud, because all those other things, it probably wouldn't have worked out anyways, but I found the one, and I was true to what I do and proud of the comics industry. And so I've been married to her ever since. So, so Andino's heckling me. Yeah, I know Billy Martin. Was it okay? All right, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Was that the New York Yankees?
Yeah, Billy Martin was the Yankees. He was the manager, and I think he was a player too. Him and I'm gonna forget the owner's name. Like he kept firing him, like in the late 70s, early 80s. Billy Martin and Steinbrenner.
Yeah. And then didn't Billy Martin go over? Was he either coaching the Oakland A's before that or after that or something? I thought he was involved with.
You could be right. I just remember him from New York, but yeah, he might have managed it with another team too.
I was just trying to get some. Hey, at that age, weren't we all like? Come on.
I was just gonna say, weren't we all? Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes, even if you have to lie.
Yeah.
Well, very good, Clint. It's always a ball hanging out with you, man. You're a great guy. The book looks fantastic. Continued success with Dog and Codename Killswitch. Yeah, keep the work coming, man.
We are. That's the plan. And thanks a ton for having us on tonight, Art. We really appreciate it. I mean, doing these YouTube channels and having being able to talk to you always is a treat. I mean, I always say this, but I'm a huge fan of your work. I loved everything you did. I've got a ton of your books in my long boxes, just like everybody else did. You're like one of the icons from the era. So it's always just a huge treat for me to be on and talk to you about comics. So me and Mark definitely appreciate it.
Well, it's always easy talking to you, man, because you can tell you just love the art form. So, anybody who's like that, it's always a pleasure to talk to. So we got to do some more live streams, Clint, because it goes fast. Like we've been.
It does.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm always open, and I'd come and talk to you. I'll pick your brain about Rob Studios and Image 90s and Death of Superman and X-Men. I'll ask you a million questions.
Well, maybe that's what we should do. We should do like a million questions. That's what we'll call it. Okay, I'm going to write this down.
Definitely.
Million. It's got to be a million too. So this is going to be.
I'll ask about specific render lines when you decided to do hash lines on thighs, as opposed to when Jim would give you just breakdowns, and I could look from panel to panel where you did more of the rendering after Jim's breakdown. So.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll try to get some artwork together. So this will probably be at least a 1,000,000-part episode,
exactly.
Episodes. Like we'll do them once every week. It'll take us 1,000,000 years to get through it. A million questions.
Exactly.
Yeah. How many questions do you think you could get in an hour?
100? It was 60. Well, no. I mean, if you're asking, you got to answer. So.
I would have to answer quickly, right? So these would be.
If you're asking a question a minute is pretty fast even. So there you're at.
We could time it. It'd be like a game show.
Oh, yeah. But I don't even think you could I don't think you could stay at the pace of a question a minute. So I would say maybe 30 to 40 questions, like a question every 2 minutes, and maybe a little faster than that.
Okay, I'm gonna write this down. A question, because it was fun, man. Every God, I'm writing with this Sharpie, so it's taking up all kinds of space. What do you say? Every
2 minutes. So if I asked you 30 questions in an hour, I think that would be that's going to be a lot of stuff.
Okay, we'll do this, man, because I'm always looking for fun stuff to do. So we'll put you on the spot. You'll have to come up with at least 30 questions. You said 30 questions.
I can come up with 30 questions in an hour. I think we're going to get into the nuts and bolts and the minutia.
It'll be fun, and I'll try to make sure. We have to go into what do they call those? The bonus rounds. So if I answer quickly, then we'll go into the bonus round. So there'll be an extra 10 questions or something that we can do.
I'm going to have to do my homework before this show.
Yeah, this show's going to have some homework involved. And then we can plug the hell out of your book still, have a good old time. So we should maybe do it next week or something if that's
yeah. It's terrific.
And I'm thinking too, do you have like a bell or a buzzer, or maybe we can just make the buzzer sound like at 2 minutes, you just like, the clock starts ticking, and then at 3 you just go eat. So
I can figure something out for a buzzer. I think I got some timer on my phone. I can mess with the settings and see if I can come up with a really annoying buzzer.
It'll put the pressure on. I think it'll be funny to watch me melt down. I'll be all flustered, like, I got 2 minutes.
The pressure is on.
I can't answer this in 2 minutes. My head will start melting down. My hat will catch on fire. All right, Clint. Yeah, I had a ball with you, man. We'll do this next week. So anybody listening, stay tuned and like and subscribe this channel, please. It does help. Yeah, definitely. And Clint, do you have a place?
I have a YouTube channel, but I haven't been. Mark's been doing most of the YouTube stuff on his channel, so definitely check out Mark Poulton, Primetime Poulton. I've been drawing, so it's hard to draw all day and then do a YouTube show. And
right.
Mostly we just making the rounds, and that's been working right now. But eventually I'll get on it.
Yeah.
Hit me up on Twitter at Clint Olinsky at Clint Olinsky on Twitter. That's the best way. That's where I spend most of my time.
All right. Hey, Clint, are we following each other on Twitter?
I believe so.
Yes. Send me a link, or just send me a private message, and so we can kind of start the dialogue for next week's show.
Definitely.
Okay. Because like today, I almost forgot. Well, I kind of did forget that Mark and you.
I'll be the last one to hold it against you.
Yeah.
Yep, we're following each other on Twitter. So.
Yeah, just send me some kind of heads up. So I'm thinking probably early midweek.
Yep.
Later than Wednesday.
That works for me. I'll send you a link after this, or just a message, and we can make a plan for early next week.
So are mornings better? Midday, evening?
I'm open for whenever. I mean, I'm just drawing during the day, so I can always take a break in between. So
okay, we'll figure it out. All right, you guys, that's going to be a good show coming up next week. It's going to be Clint and myself, and Clint's going to have 30 questions, 3 minutes each, and it's just going to be basically, I imagine most of it's going to be X-Men related, right?
X-Men and Image 90s, I think, those are the stuff that I'm interested in. Oh, and I mean, Dan Jurgens Superman, I was a huge fan of that stuff too. So
yeah, that was fun too.
You were in the heart of it.
Oh, the thick of it, as they say.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, you guys, go back, Sea Dog and Codename Killswitch. It's a killer book done by Clint. Is it Helinski?
Helinski, yep.
And Mark Poulton. These guys are the good guys. They're doing some kick-ass stuff for Comicsgate. So go show them some love. And we'll see Clint next week, probably Tuesday, Wednesday. And we'll do that million question live stream. All right.
Around a million. We'll round up to 1 million.
Somehow we'll figure it out. All right, man. Everyone have a wonderful night. Take care, and I'll see you.